Hi friends, a new game has appeared on the Epic Games Store, and one of my Patreons has asked that I cover it, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I may have bit off a little bit more than I can chew with this one, but let's ask ourselves, what is Frostpunk? The last city on Earth, frozen and alone in the north. There's nothing but a steam-powered generator at the center of the city to keep its citizens warm. How many days has it been since the blizzard started? The bodies keep piling up in the tents and in the streets. Food is running low. The children cry from their empty bellies. Discontent is rising. Hope is all but lost. I don't know how much longer the people will trust me. Frostpunk was created and developed by the Poland-based indie studio 11-Bit Studios. They are composed of a bunch of ex-CD Projekt Red and Metropolis software developers. Frostpunk was published April 24th, 2018, and is available on PC, Xbox One, and PS4. 11-Bit Studios is also the developer of This War of Mine and published games like Children of Merida and Moonlighter, which I plan to cover in another video. This game is brutally hard. I'm not sure if I can call it a 4X, maybe a 3X? There's no combat that I've come across. Let's call it a 3X survival city builder in a steampunk style, but colder. I looked up a bit of the history on the world and why everything is as it is. Turns out things are set in an alternate timeline from our own based on real-world events that happened in 1883. In the year 1815, the volcanic mountain Tambora in Indonesia and the Krakatoa volcanic island chains in 1883 erupted and spewed so much ash and debris into the air that compounded and created a volcanic winter. No sun could reach the surface. The British Empire and the United States both created generators which were designed to be town centers. I love how in the menu here, it gives a little profile of the people in the background, giving them a personal touch, giving you a certain connection with them, with the music just full of despair, just haunting. The main scenario has you playing as a captain. Your convoy was hit by a blizzard and everyone scattered to the wind. You have only a small group of people with you when you arrive at the generator. Here, you and your survivors set up a city and try to survive as long as possible, and if possible, find the rest of the people you were traveling with. Right from the get-go, this game is cold, dark, and bleak. You need to start gathering coal right away to fire up the generator so everyone doesn't freeze to death. Then, try and fulfill the needs of the people. You will notice at the top of your screen your current resources: coal, wood, steel, and steam cores. To the right of that is your current raw food and food rations. Below both of those, you will see the transport controls, current time, and your current day and forecast. Right smack dab in the middle of that is the temperature. This scenario starts at negative 20 degrees science. If you click the temperature, you will get a heat map showing you how cold your city is and how cold your citizens are. On the bottom of the screen, you will see your current quests and tasks, the build button, your hope and content bars, and trouble bubbles. To the right of that, you will see your book of laws, the economy button, and your current population breakdown. Okay, let's talk about resources. Around the scenario map, there are resources you can gather by hand, and some that need special research in order to be able to mine. Everything is stored in your stockpile. Coal can be gathered from coal piles, wood from the piles of wood crates, and steel from the steel wreckage. Each resource can have a set amount of workers assigned to it. For the handpicked resources around the map, the maximum number of workers you can assign is 15. People will only work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Coal is the lifeblood of the generator. Without coal, the generator dies, and with it, your people. Coal usage is measured in hours. Level 1 generator uses 6 coal per hour. Level 2 generator with the level 2 range upgrade is 24 coal an hour. Some buildings require a certain heat level to operate, and some have higher levels of insulation to begin with. Keeping everything warm and working is key to survival. However, you will quickly find yourself running out of coal, especially when the blizzards hit. Fear not. You can just make a 24-hour emergency work shift mandatory by law. And this is when your people are going to start to hate you. The colder it gets and the longer the work shifts, the more likely it is for your people to get sick. Colder still and the frostbite hits. So you only have to build a medical post to start treating the sick. But the problem with sick people is that they don't work. Frostbitten people will have to lose a limb or two. Hacking off people's frostbitten limbs will also greatly reduce your working populace. Don't worry though. You can just enact child labor laws. Now you can just send your children off to work to collect coal and wood. Will discontent rise? Yeah, it will. You will constantly be reassigning people to do the right jobs. Only engineers can run medical posts and the workshop, which is your all-purpose research station. Deciding what to research at what time will help you survive long into the game. There are 5 tiers of tech you can unlock just by researching that tier. The tech is split into 4 categories: heating, exploration and industry, resources, and food, health, and shelter. Heating provides you with various ways to keep warm, including upgrades to your generator, steam hubs, and heaters. More heat means more coal usage. Exploration and industry is where all the automation and high-tech things reside. Research the beacon to send scouts out to try and locate the rest of your people, or to find resources and tech. This is key to expanding your population, as the time frame is hours. You are not likely to have your children grow up to become full-fledged adult workers. Then you have to ask yourself, am I making enough food to feed everyone? Is there enough lodging so people aren't sleeping in a snowbank? Chances are, no, and you're going to have to build a lot of stuff. The Resources Research tab helps you to keep your stockpile stocked and allows you to build mines and sawmills to better get at those things to keep your city running. The Coal Thumper here just magically thumps coal right out of the ground and places it in a pile behind the device. Your people are still going to need to pick it up. A single Coal Thumper takes about 25 people to fully man. And the Food, Health, and Shelter has upgrades to increase the livability of your city and your people's well-being. A hothouse will help grow food. At the start of the game, you can only hunt for food, and it takes 15 workers and only produces 15 raw food a day. The hothouse produces 30 raw foods per day. Now, this is where we're going to start to run into the special building resource, steam cores. The first part of the tech tree is where you're going to start running into these little beauties. Steam cores can only be found while you're out on a scouting mission. Well, that's the only time I've ever found them anyway. Your people will be constantly asking you for things. Everything you get asked to do gets placed in the quest log in the bottom left of the screen. Doing those things in the time specified will raise the levels of hope. Failing to do so after telling your people you will result in your hope falling and discontent rising. Each citizen has a name and a relationship with the others around them. They have wives and husbands and children. You can micromanage everyone, keeping people at home if they are sick, or just send them to work anyway, and make some orphans after they die of exposure. Keeping your people happy is required if you want to continue as the captain of the city. Failing to do so will result in you being sent off to the dark and the cold. Alone, banished. Game over! So far, I've not been able to find out what happens when your discontent bar reaches its peak. Maybe they throw you a parade and stone you with whatever coal there is left over. This game is brutal. You're constantly having to tell your people that there's just not enough food to go around. Extra meals for the sick? Yeah. Sorry, out of food. I'm cold. Can you heat my home? No, sorry, we don't have enough coal to keep the heat levels that high. People getting sick and begging for medical aid all the time, it's rough. The graphics and art style really hammer home the bleakness of the future in this pit of despair. The haunting music combined with the howling wind effects just bring you down and chill your bones with feels. I can only make it to about day 22 or day 23 in A New Home scenario. After that, everyone just gives me the boot and I'm left to wander the wastelands until I die. Making it past day 20 will unlock other scenarios that you can play. Each scenario has certain scripted events that will happen on certain days to challenge you. And now, you know what Frostpunk is. Let's take a look at the options menu. In the general settings, we have temperature scale. You can set it from Celsius to Fahrenheit, from science to whatever Fahrenheit is based off of. No idea. We have a whole host of graphics option, as you would from a AAA game. Pretty sure we go all the way up to 4K. Ooh, 4K 165. That's impressive. Full audio sliders with a master volume. Always nice to have. And a full set of rebindable keys, which is nice. You can't play it on controller. No reason you would want to play it on controller either. You have reached the end of the video. What a dark and chilling game Frostpunk is. Did you make it farther than I did in the main scenario? Leave a comment down below and give me some tips. Give me some tips on how to make it past day 20. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my latest videos. And big thanks to all of my Patreons. You guys help make this all possible. See you again in the next one.